Today, I learned about the tragic passing of 26-year-old Carlos Enrique. He was a YouTuber, and he was found in his neighbor's backyard, buried. Um, and you would think, a person buried in a backyard, that should be a pretty cut and dry. That should be a done deal. That should be a open book, closed book type of case. Well, you'd be wrong. They claimed that he passed away during a cocaine-fueled sex binge, where he was found fucking the neighbor's teenage sister, um, and pretty much nutted himself so hard that he went into cardiac arrest and died. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that had to be a spectacular nut. That had to be the nut of a century to nut so fucking hard that you find yourself in an early grave. And we're talking about a 26-year-old here. We're not talking about a 45, 50-year-old where this kind of thing might make a little more sense. You know, he's deep in the tooth or whatever, however the saying goes. He's older. You could see, heart attack. Okay. No, this is a young dude that unfortunately passed away very early from apparently the weirdest cause of death I've heard all year. Now, their story to begin with was that he left their house after Christmas, and they just haven't seen him. They even made a social media post saying, "Hey, help us find Carlos. Help us find him because we don't know where he is. He's our friend. We want him. We want to find him just as bad as you do. I promise." Now, where the story takes a big old turn for them is one of his friends saw a shirt sticking out of the ground. Now, he was, I'm sure he was thinking, something's a little stinky over here. Something's a little smelly. Maybe I should call the authorities and see, see if this is true. See if he actually left, and the authorities came and dug up where he saw the shirt sticking up out of the ground and found Carlos Enrique. Now, this happened about like a week after Christmas. They found his body about a week after Christmas, so clearly there was going to be a little bit of decomposition. But even with the decomposition, they were able to determine that there was no there seemed to be no like battery inflicted wounds or anything like that, and there were no gunshot wounds either. So they know that there was no like violent or deadly weapon involved. If he was killed, if it was a homicide, he was probably strangled, or either that or he was drugged, because it was already said that he had a drug problem, so it's very possible that the neighbor slipped something in there when he wasn't looking. Now, you may be thinking, okay, well, it's possible that something like this happened. But what makes the neighbors look super guilty in this situation is the fact that they've switched their story from saying he left to now they're saying that he died from a cocaine-fueled sex binge. And another layer to this story that makes it smell even fishier is the fact that they claimed that the neighbor burnt their house down. So it was found that their house burnt down, and you once again might be thinking, that's a one hell of a coincidence. A body's found in their yard and their house burns down in the same week. Well, you'd be right about that. What I think happened is they burnt their own house down and tried to pin it on one of their other neighbors in order to make it seem like they are guilt-free of any of the situation, which clearly they're probably trying to cover up some sort of evidence, maybe a struggle, something like that, a fight. And overall, the plan is just so brain dead that I think anyone, you don't have to be a detective to tell that this is a sticky situation that is clearly points to them being the perpetrators of murdering this person. So yeah, guys, it's just one of those bad situations where it's going to take time. At least they're in police custody. They're apprehended because they seem to be very guilty in this situation. But one of the craziest deaths I've heard, or at least one of the craziest excuses for a death that I've heard. And very, very tragic for this guy. Just starting out life, and his wick gets extinguished from a supposed drug-fueled orgasm. Just wild. Anyway, guys, that's all I got. See ya.